What's going on, you guys? Your boy Slumpy, and today I am doing a deck profile for the deck that I played at YCS Pasadena. I got 9th after Swiss, and I played Salamngreat without Salad. Now, to get started with the video, I want to give a huge shout out to Imperium, a huge shout out to Genesis, and a huge shout out to all my boys that helped me out, especially throughout the week. Huge shout out to Rob Loa, and a huge shout out to Jesse Barber for helping me out the whole weekend. We play tested a bunch, helped him with the anti-mana deck. He gave me a place to stay when I came back, and just like a really helpful guy. He's really awesome. A huge shout out to you, man. I really appreciate you. Make sure you guys check out his channel. But just to give you guys a little bit of an update, so I kind of got into an accident type of thing. My snow chains broke when I was trying to go over the mountains, and it shredded the inside of my car. And when I pulled over, a car hit some snow and just went all over my car and pushed me in the snow. I got pulled out of the snow, and then I went down south to Bernie, California, and I got towed from there to Redding, and which is about like an hour away. And I was very fortunate that I was able to be alive. I also fought through a snow cyclone or snow bomb or bomb cyclone, forgot what it's called. But a bunch of snow hit, and I was fortunate enough to make it out of there. I was stuck in my car for about 7 hours, just parked, waiting in the freeway on I-5 South, trying to go back to Redding, and tried to wait it out, and then all that happened. But I'm here, I'm alive. A huge shout out to Makai. When he found out that I was stuck in California, he drove all the way from Seattle all the way down to Redding, California, which is like an 11-hour drive and back, just so I could make it in time for my family, and he helped me out. I was able to spend Thanksgiving, so a huge shout out to him. I really appreciate you, bro. I love you. But without further ado, I will give you guys my deck profile, again without Nibiru, so I'll get into some explanation as well on my deck choices. So the deck is 40 cards, trying to make this as consistent as possible. So I played 3 Buffalo, 3 Foxy, 3 Spinny, double Jack, 1 Fowl, 1 Gazelle, and 1 Falco. I feel like this ratio is perfect. I don't think you should ever change this. I think the second Jack is always necessary because everybody's playing Shark Cannon and DD Crow, and you just always want to see the second one. Plus, if you're playing Desires, then I think you should definitely always play Sue Jack. For the extenders, Falco, broken. 2 Sea Archiver and 1 Tsuchinoko. I live in praise by this card. This card has always got me in my last 2 tops at Portland and here at Pasadena. So Tsuchinoko is so good because it plays around there can only be 1. Plus it's the level 3 extender, so it helps to make Mirage Stalio. And just getting extra cards out of your hand that you don't want is just like really good, especially when you have like dead cards. But 2 Sea Archiver because I want to special this during my opponent's turn, and it's one of the best extenders as well. Lets you chain block with Gazelle, and just like overall a really good card. For the hand traps, I played 3 Ash, 1 Dogeron, 2 Bell, and 3 Impermanence. I felt like this ratio was perfect. Ghost Spell over DD Crow because this is more defensive. It also lets you stop Ray when there's 2 Rays in grave. And the card's also really good because it stops, Monster Reborn, Will. Just like overall, just an insane card. Dogeron was also because of Striker, but also because it just outs like problem cards when you play against Rogue. The card's insane. If you get Phantasmate first turn, you can Kaiju the Phantasmate, bounce it to hand with Mirage Stalio. Plus, it's a fire. So if you get like Widow Anchored, you bounce the whatever Widow Anchored, like as long as it's a monster like Gazelle. You bounce to your hand, you make Helio, make target their monster, and then you make this 0, and then next turn you can add it back to your hand off of Sunlight Wolf or during your opponent's turn. So Mist being a fire is super important. And Impermanence because it's broken, stops zones, helps against there can only be 1. Which is really the only card that this deck usually loses to. Everything else you're usually just fine with. For spells, I played 3 Signet Mining, 3 Cosmic, 1 Well, Circle, Field Spell, and then Reborn and Desires. So I'll explain some of these card choices. So 3 Cosmic is because you lose to there can only be 1, so you need to have that out always. It's also really good against the whole meta, this format. In the mirror match or when you play against Striker, like there's not one bad matchup where you don't want to see Cosmic. Even when you play against the Combo Thunder, like game 1 if you have Cosmic and they are playing the Draconet combo, you can banish it. If they go for Second's Light, you can also banish it with Cosmic so they don't get that extra bonus effect. So just kind of like a card that you can have. It's obviously not the best situation, but it's a situation that can come up. And then also when you play against the Pure Thunder, you can Cosmic their Thunder Dragon Fusion when they activate it, and it gets banished so they can't have a follow-up for next turn. So once you clear their board, you should be fine. The reason behind playing one Will the Salamngreat is because I do agree with Paolo to where you should not be playing any, but the only thing I have a disagreement is playing at least one. So I do agree, but I agree to disagree because when you have the one of Will, when you go for the Sunlight Wolf Dweller combo, you detach the Jack, you have Falco underneath, you special Gazelle, Chinlink 1, Chinlink 2, you add whatever you want for Wolf, you send Will, and then if they get rid of Dweller, you can set Will, and then if your Gazelle stays on the field, next turn you can activate the effect of Dweller, detach Falco, bounce the Gazelle back to your hand, and then special the Falco, and then you have an extender to try to kill them next turn. The reason behind playing Monster Reborn over the second or third or whatever Will is that Monster Reborn does let you play around there can only be one by specialing your opponent's monsters or hand traps. And the card's just like a really good extender. When you play against the Striker Orcus deck, you're able to kaiju them on their Zeroboros or whatever it may be. You're able to special summon their Zeroboros and you have a Link 4, or you can special summon their Galatea and you can make Borreload. Just like cards like that is just like insane. The reason for One Desires, I didn't find room to play more because I wanted my deck to be 40, and I felt like One Desires is perfect, and like I felt like the one of was perfect. I never want to see two in my opener. Again, I wanted to go for maximum consistency, so I felt like the one of Desires was perfect for me this whole weekend. For the traps, I played 2 Roar, 1 Rage. The reason behind playing 2 Roar is because a lot of the times, if you open like Silent Mining in this, and you have like a Sea Archiver or Spinny, you can go for the whole for the combo to where you go for Mirage Stalio and then you can send Rage. And then when you want to add both of these, you add this to hand, and then you use this off its own effect when relinked a monster to set itself. So that way when it gets banished, you have the second one in your deck. Plus also conflicts with like Desires. So you want to go for maximum consistency. So that's the reason behind playing 2. Also, you want to see this card like most of the time. Especially when you make Baguska first turn, you end up like Silent Wolf Baguska. You want to open this so you're able to counter trap if they have impermanence. For the extra deck, I played 3 Banelinks, 3 Sunlight Wolf, 2 Helio, 1 Mirage Stalio. The reason behind playing 1 and not 2 is because you need a resource management a lot. Yes, the second one does come up, even though you're managing your resources, like when you get in a Beard and you're able to make a second XYZ. But there's times where in this deck you just have to go like balls deep, just like go all in, and you just have to pray. And the reason behind cutting the second Mirage Stalio was for playing Appaloosa. The reason behind playing Appaloosa is because against the mirror match, it also does come up to where you need to stop, like, for example, Nibiru, or when you need to stop Phantasme. So it's just, like, really good to stop. On top of that, when you play against Pure Orcus and you clear their board, they have no cards in hand, but they have, like, 3 monster extenders in graveyard. During their turn, you can stop all 3. If they try to attack over it, you have Rage to pop, so you can send from your hand. Plus, like, this card being, like, big and just, like, having the link arrows that it has is just also insane to give you more arrows and more extra deck room when you combo off, when you play Mind Control and stuff like that. I played Baguska and Dweller. Baguska, honestly, is one of the best cards in my extra deck. It was the reason why I won so many games. Every time I played against Pure Orcus, I made this over Dweller because most of their extenders start with Mathematician, Armageddon Knight, or Greffer. Plus, if they want to attack over this, they have to make a Long Girsu. If you have Rage, you can stop that Long Girsu, and then they can't attack over it. And then if they summon Ding, it's specials in defense mode, and they can't activate the effect. So this card's like a walking skill drain. Like, it's just so good. It's also really good in the mirror match sometimes. For the extra spots left, we played Phoenix, Hida, and Borreload. Phoenix to play around there can only be 1. Hida for the mirror match. We did talk about playing the second one, and I might test it out later on. But the extra deck's so tight that I don't know what to cut. And the Borreload is because when you play against combo decks and when you're playing Mind Control, you're able to make this so much easier. Plus, you're able to just like steal cards like Dweller or like Floodgates that they have. It's just like so insane. Also, this is the mirror match is really good. Sorry. For the side deck. Alright, so I'll show the 12 standard cards that I usually play, and then I'll play the 11, and then I'll show you guys the rest. So you'll play 3 Nibiru, 3 Lancia, 2 Mind Control, and 3 evenly matched. So I feel like these are all standard. I didn't play Twin Twisters at all this weekend, for you guys that don't know. I decided to play the evenlies instead because I thought I was going to play against different decks. With it being Pasadena and a bunch of people talking about like the Striker Orcus deck and everything, I feel like this was perfect. Mind control is insane because it's able to break boards. I wish I had played 3, but I couldn't find the room, and I felt like the other 4 cards in my cards I will show you right now are so much better than the third mind control. Third Nibiru is just like super necessary. Same with Lancia. You want to see these in your opener where you play them. Same with like evenly matched. For the last 4 spots, and this is the best part about my deck, I would say, is 3 Mystic Mine and 1 Paro. So, for an explanation on this, so Mystic Mine against the combo deck like the Danger Thunder, once you're able to bait out their Smell Gate, they're not expecting Mystic Mine, you're able to out their full board by activating Mine, and they just like stay there forever, and to play Second's Light, they lose because you deck them out. The other thing is when you play against the mirror match, against like certain matchups, you can just activate Mine to kind of stall you for a couple of turns, kind of like a walking like battle fader type of thing, you know, like it just like stops their boards from being insane, and then you just set up with Rage Roar, and then you just like wait with a Cosmic, you clear out the back row, and you just combo off. You're able to counter trap the Nibiru so you don't lose, or even like set up to where you're able to like activate Will, add reboard, and then you're able to just like combo off, you know, and just like make Appaloosa first, and you know slam everything on the table. The reason behind playing this with Mystic Mine that's super important is because I did this a lot this last weekend. So with Will. So this is broken. So when you have Paro in hand, right? And let's say you have Will, right? And they get rid of this, you can special this from your hand to block, so it's kind of like a mini battle fader. So that's already good so you don't die. So when you have this and this, you can activate this effect, special this, tribute, gain 2,000 life points. Next turn, effect, special, tribute, gain another 2,000 life points. And you keep doing that. By the time they get rid of Mystic Mine, you're going to have like 20,000 life points, and they can't kill you most of the time. So when they try to go for game, they can't kill you, and the next turn you combo back, you make board load, steal the whole board, and you have counter trap, rage, and everything, and you just have a perfect setup. And this combo was insane. I did this a couple of times this last weekend, but this combo was one of the ones that I praised the most. It's so good, probably the perfect leak, and I feel like a lot of solid players should start playing this, and it's pretty insane. But without further ado, let me get you guys my matchups. All right, so, there we go. All right, so Salamngreat YCS Pasadena matchup. So round 1, I played against Danger Thunder combo. Game 1, I go first, and I have the ability to make rank 4. I asked my opponent how many cards in the deck. He says 46. So I'm automatically thinking that it's combo, and I should make Bagooska instead of Dweller, and it wins me the game because I make that play. Game 2, he kind of opens up awkward, and, you know, I have a hand trap to, like, stop him for a little bit, and then he ends up, like, an awkward board. We go back and forth, and end up winning the game, and, like, Bagooska was already putting work around, like, round 1, so I was already so glad I started playing it. Round 2, I played against Yusenju Demise. The guy was really nice. I ended up grinding the deck out and played correctly, and I have to play around a Compulse a bit, like the Yusenju Compulse. And then I had to also out Necker Valley, so I play around it and we grind. And then game 2 was kind of the same thing. I ended up winning that 2-0. So I'm already 2-0 and I'm 4-0. So round 3, I played against Pure Orcus. My opponent was German. He was really nice. Game 1, I went first and I made Bagooska and I set Roar. He imperms my Bagooska, I negate it. The reason why I made Bagooska against this guy is because he made Phantasme first turn. So I automatically knew it wasn't Striker, so Dweller was not the call. Plus, I think he was playing 40 or 41, I forgot. I do remember asking him though. So I automatically think it's the mirror match or it's Pure Orcus, and Bagooska's good against both. So I make that and I win. So once he automatically scoops, I assume he's playing Pure Orcus. So I was like, all right, I'm going to sight in like Lancias and stuff. Playing against the mirror matches, whatever. I still, you know, have all this stuff. So game 2, he summons Armageddon Knight, sends Harp, I Lancia. And the next turn, I summon Foxy, make Bailing, search field spell. I didn't chain foul. I actually said I chain foul, but I didn't. And then I activate field spell, discard Spinny, special Foxy. And then I special Spinny, make Mirage Stallion. I use the effect, he ashes me there. So that's when I make the Sunlight Wolf. I special the Foul, add to my hand, and then I mind control his Armageddon Knight, and then I attack, and I make Bagooska again, and he just can't out it. And then next turn, I special I have Sea Archiver, so I have special Spinny, special Sea Archiver, make Mirage Stalio, bounce, and then I make another Sunlight Wolf, bounce his guy, poke, and then pass, and then I do that again with Baguska, and then I ended up like grinding him out, and he lost. So I get another 2-0, so now I'm 3-0. So round 4, I play against True Draco. We go back and forth. Game 3, he goes set 3, activate Mystic Mind, pass, and I was like, end phase or Mystic Mind dies, and he's like, oh, I forgot. So, I ended up he shotguns anti-spell, and I summon Foxy special combo off, and then I get rid of the anti-spell. He flips another anti-spell. I just like set counter trap and pass, and I'm just like fine with it. And I shuffle back his other back row, leave the anti-spell up, and he just loses like because of that. That was a 2-1. I lost game 2. So now I'm 4-0. So round 5, I play against Sky Striker. We go back and forth. So game 3, I present my deck, and the judge was watching. We had like a 3-minute time extension. Presented deck, drew my hands, and judge was like, oh, by the way, time was called like 20 seconds ago. And I was like, what? Like, why didn't you interrupt us like 20 seconds ago then, you know? And just like super confused. So it was whatever. So it ended up being a draw. But I asked my opponent, we like showed our hands, and I was like, all right, like I had the Mirage Stalio for the Paro, just letting you know what his special needs effect. He said I would have impermanence the Paro. So I started realizing that if he had impermanence the Paro, I would have just activated Will, used the effect of special, and he would have lost. So that was kind of unfortunate, but whatever. The next round I played against Pure Thunder. Game 1 I play. He plays for a little bit, and he makes a board, but I have the negates and everything, so I'm able to like combo off. We go back and forth a little bit, and then I just kill him. And then game 2, I blow him out with Baguska and other cards, and just insane, a 2-0. Round 7, I played against the mirror match. Game 1, he has advantage, he blows me out, has everything. We go a little bit back and forth, but it's game 1, so I already have a disadvantage. Game 2, I play on the Nibiru by leaving Gazelle in my hand the whole time, and I combo, and I resolve Sunlight Wolf, I resolve the effect to add a hand and everything. He goes, at the end of main phase 1, I'm going to Nibiru for 1. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to special my Gazelle. I have my own Nibiru in hand. I'm just going to let you combo off. So next turn, he goes hard. He combos and everything. And he has, like, Heat Leo and, like, everything. And before he leaves main phase, I slam my Nibiru for, like, a +3. And next turn, I summon Foxy, special Spinny, make Mirage Stalio special. I make Sunlight Wolf, bounce my Nibiru back to my hand, and then I just combo, and he just loses. And then game 3, he goes first. He goes activate Cyanate Mining, discarding, I believe it was Impermanence. I forgot what it was a really good card. And I Ash, and he passes. And I just play around the Nibiru again, gain advantage, go back and forth. He just doesn't have anything, doesn't have any starters, so I win that matchup. Round 8, I played against Brian Kalina, True Draco Striker. So he was actually kind of upset with me after the match because game 1 he goes Blue Boy searches. So I automatically know he's playing Striker Draco because I know that's the deck and what they play in the deck and everything, and it was kind of obvious, especially being in round 8. So he goes Secrets, Knowledge, draw 2, and he goes Upstart, and I was like, okay. And he goes Activate Engage, and I go Ash, and he's like, oh, what? I don't remember if this is the game that he went past or if he went for the Kagari to add, and I had Bell and a permanence. But game 2, he goes, I open 0 hand traps. He goes for like a +6. He has like 7 cards in hand, like 4 or 5 cards on field, and just I lose. And then game 3, I go first. I open up combo, and on Sunlight Wolf, Dweller, Gazelle in hand, Rage, and Cosmic. And obviously, I just win that game, and I felt bad. My last round of Swiss, day 1, I played against Richard Quatch. He's playing Subterror. So game 1, I go first. He hand traps me and on my Mirage Stalio, and I pass. And then he goes activate Field Spell. I Cosmic. He sets, and then his Hidden City. And I just he can't get a monster. I ended up winning. Game 2, he activates Field Spell. I Ash's Field Spell. He goes set 3 pass. And I'm like, sweet. Summon Buffalo. He's like, Judgment. I was like, fuck. And I had Foxy and Gazelle in hand, and I was like, dang it. It's like, man, whatever. So I set Cosmic. Next turn, he goes activate Field Spell. I go Cosmic the Field Spell. He passes, and the next turn I have full combo, and I win. So I'm X01 at the end of day 1. Day 2, round 1, I play against Christian Urena playing Striker Orcus. So game 1, he opens the die roll, he opens up his combo. I almost break his board. The only thing that was a downside to not breaking his board is I opened Field Spell and I opened Counter Trap. And if either of those would have been any hand trap in my opener, or if they had been Ghost Spell or Cosmic, I would have came back and I would have, I think, won because I would have made Appaloosa at the end. And I would have had Rage from the Gazelle ad and everything. So that was a little unfortunate, but it happens. And then game 2, I opened combo and on Appaloosa with 6 cards in hand with Lancia being 1. And he goes special Panker Tops, and I was like, fuck, that and Mind Control were your only 2 like outs to this. It was like super unfortunate. He attacked and then just like tried to combo. I Lancia'd him, and then he set 2, and the 2 he had set were Widow, Anchor, and Shark Cannon. Just super unfortunate because I was trying to go for Gazelle and everything, and I forgot to foul early to lock down the 2 back row, and that was like the whole reason I was comboing off. And I forgot about it, and Special Gazelle, he Widow Anchored, and I ended up losing that matchup because I couldn't get to Jack Jaguar. So that was unfortunate. And then, so I was X1-1. And then the last round, I played against Junior Dorson. He was playing Pure Striker, but he wins the die roll and tells me to go first. And I was like, what? So I open up, I combo, and I do everything. He hand traps, and I stop it. And then game 2, he tells me to go first again, and I was like, okay. So I open up like full combo plus Cosmic and Roar, and I opened up full combo plus Cosmic and Roar, and I ended up just going for the combo, and I used Gazelle to send Counter Trap, go from Raw Stalio, he negates, I special Jack from my graveyard because it was part of my opener. And I add Gazelle to hand, and then I make another Silent Wolf, and then I use the effect to add. He goes Ghost Spell. I was like, cool. I relink Silent Wolf, set Roar, pass, and it was just like over by then. So I 2-0 him, and I make top 32. So again, first round of top 32 playing against Brian Chen. I lost to Daryl. He opens up. We go back and forth. He wins game 1. I win game 2. Game 3, we go back and forth. Out 2, there can only be 1. But for my first turn, I went Balinks, and I had like Buffalo and Gazelle, and I had no other Cybers. So I went for Balinks, search a Field Spell, activate Field Spell, relink it, and I forgot I had relinked it. And like later on, and I specialed Gazelle. I use effect. He goes Ash. So I make another Balinks, which is like the mistake because I forgot I had already made one. So I made all 3 Balinks first turn, and it cost me a little bit of tempo. And I don't think it would have mattered because when we were going back and forth, he drew the 3rd. There could only be 1, but you never know. It was still a misstep. But without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys sticking through. If you guys are sticking through the end of the video, again, shout out to Imperium, shout out to Genesis, shout out to Jobber, shout out to all my friends, shout out to my best friends, Brittany, Ariana, Rita, Collins, Jonah, Makai, you got Jared. You guys are all awesome, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is Sloppy Slipping out. Peace.